Hey, hey
Hey,
guys! How's everybody doing tonight?
is that better?
Yeah, looks good. All the kitties back in school. And football starts tonight!
Oh, is that why you had the TV on?
Yes.
Oh, I don't know anything about that. All right, I got my charger. Alrighty, so we can officially get started. Um, Welcome to September's edition of Health Talk with the Mont. Our topic tonight is
Back to school.
yeah. So we're going to be talking a little bit about how you can support your kids and your family as you transition into the fall months. Um, a lot of people's kids went back to school this week, so kids probably were not as excited, but parents probably were ecstatic,
Right.
right? Um, so we're happy about that. But also the weather is going to be changing. So we're going to talk a little bit about how we can help support our children's needs as the weather starts to transition. We know they're going to be in school around more different kids, and there may be some things that they're bringing home with them that you'll like to see, and probably some that you don't, not so much, right? So we'll talk about a good health regimen for that as well. Dana has some notes that she's going to share with you guys, and then I'm going to chime in. If you have any questions throughout this health talk, feel free to post them in the comments, and we'll try to answer them to the best we can.
Right.
So, what do you got this month?
So there's a few things just to keep in mind as we transition into fall that I think is very, very important, and sometimes we don't think about that, but it is possible to get through the entire season above the wellness line. And that's huge. Like, our bodies were designed and created to fight off a lot of this stuff that's going on. The problem is we have suppressed immune systems and we don't work with our system. So some things to kind of keep in mind, which are pretty huge, is we know once our kids go back to school and the weather starts getting colder, they're not going to be outside as much. So if they're not outside as much, they're not getting the higher levels of vitamin D that they were getting when the weather was nice and they could be out all day. And, if they're doing some schooling on the inside, even if they're homeschooling, they're going to be just inside a little bit more than they were during those summer months. So a decrease in vitamin D, unfortunately, that's going to affect our immune systems. So it's important that we're still supplying ourselves as well as our kids the amount of vitamin D that they need, and they're not as active. So again, we want our kids to be active. That's again going to help to support those strong immune systems. So another thing to keep in mind is, especially when we start school and we get all classwork and lots of other stuff, that's going to add stress on the body. You're back into this new routine. Even our little ones, they get stressed out, because then we have such tight schedules. We have to be work at certain times. We drop them off at a certain time. So we want to really, really manage their stress levels as well. They can be in a new environment. Maybe they went to a new classroom with new schoolmates, new teachers, things like that.
So with that in mind, we want to talk about something that might be good to help with stress. Do you mind if I chime in real quick?
Sure.
So because I don't like stress, but the reality is that the average person, because of the lifestyle that we lead now, I mean, everybody has hectic, busy schedules, like Dana mentioned. The body is just used to being stressed. Mm-hmm. So now you have children who are they're not as active as they were during the summer, but you also have it starts to manifest itself physically on the children as well. So some of the things that we like to use, if anybody knows and follows our channel, we're very much into oiling and using essential oil infused products to support our kids' systems. So I would recommend something like Stress Away. And once again, we talk about Young Living products because we are Young Living distributors, but we absolutely love, love, love their products. And I didn't realize how much, it makes a difference just having, being stressed out all the time. You're literally going to notice that your kids have a harder time functioning, a harder time remembering things, settling down when they're told to. So maybe try diffusing something like Stress Away or rubbing a little bit of Stress Away on the back of their neck to help calm them down. You could even pack it in their backpacks.
You can put it on little cotton balls,
Yeah.
put it in their backpack, put it in their lunch boxes. They also make like cute little diffuser bracelets that they might be able to put on while they're in school as well.
Yeah. So something like that would help.
Another thing to keep in mind is when the kids go back to school, a lot of teachers, some of the rewards that they usually get our little ones are sugar and candy. So if you have an increase in your diet of these sugars, again, that's going to suppress your immune system as well as sleep. So maybe in the summertime they were able to sleep in a little later, maybe they were staying up, but they didn't have to be somewhere at certain times, where now they're back in this routine. They got to get to school at a certain time, get on the bus at a certain time. So their sleep is decreased. So again, they have high levels of stress now. They're increasing in their sugar intake and they're getting less sleep. So we can see why their body response is going to make it harder for them to fight off some of the things that might be coming their way at this time. And then the last one, of course, exposure to other germy children.
Isn't that how the average parent, the funny thing is that's probably how the average parent ends up sick more so than the children, as the children being exposed to other children and bringing home germs. I think that's kind of interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But that's going to be like a huge, thing, a huge battle throughout the year. To Dana's point, so with the lack of sleep and the increase of sugar that children are going to have, I know that, come past couple of weeks, we got our children back on a schedule. So they go to bed at 8 now, so that they can be asleep by 8:30 and get enough sleep. Because if Dayton doesn't get his rest, he's extremely cranky. Mm-hmm. And no parent wants to deal with cranky children all day. Neither do teachers, I'm sure.
And really even in our older children. So a lot of times, again, in those teenage years, both male and female are going through a lot of hormonal changes. And a lot of times they're getting less sleep. But that less sleep is actually probably why they're acting crazy all the time. Mm-hmm. So their diet, you really, really want to take a look at diet and food. Make sure, because there's only so much we can control when we send them to school, but nice, healthy snacks. Think good proteins, good fats, things that are going to help their brain to function and move more. Not so much processed stuff.
It's going to make them sluggish.
If we're getting sugars from natural fruits, vegetables, carrot sticks, things that they can snack on, keep them full, but it's not going to, again, suppress that immune system.
Okay, you got it. So now we're talking about how to support their immunity throughout the year, right? Mm-hmm. So what's the first thing on your list? You can say it, and then I'll chime in on why this is actually one of my favorite things to use.
So fish oil. So this is Omega-Gize. Fish oil is so key to their cognitive support. It's so key to their immunity. Everyone really needs to be taking a good fish oil supplement. You want to make sure that it's whole food, that it's bioavailable in the body. And we know, of course, having those essential oils in our supplements are going to make them more bioavailable. You're getting more absorbed into your system. So be sure it's a high quality fish oil. That's going to be so important for our little ones. They're in school. They have to focus. They need to sit down, get their mental faculties together so that they can really focus in on what they need to take in.
Yeah, so when you're looking at something like a fish oil,
hey, how are you?
Hi, Colleen. Most of your fish oils, they're good for you because they're high in omega-3 fatty acids. So like Dana mentioned, you do want to have a good amount of milligrams per serving. So something like Omega-Gize actually has 445 milligrams per serving of omega-3 fatty acid. But here's the kicker. You might find a product that maybe has 2,000. But if it's not a food-based supplement, then your body really doesn't know what to do with it. Your children's body is not really going to know how to process that. So when you have something that's food-based, to Dana's point, it does make those ingredients more bioavailable, so your body's able to absorb a higher percentage of what's in the supplement when it's food-based compared to something that's product based or chemical based. I guess would be the way to say it. So that is something to really pay attention to, because we want our children to be sharp. We want them to be able to take in as much as possible, and for them to have good brain development, especially in those younger years. So something like Omega Gies or a good omega-3 fish oil is going to be great for that.
Mm-hmm. Tashina said, I've done it 3 seasons in a row. I love it. Yes, yes, yes. Stay above the wellness line. Immunity.
She's talking about the Omega Gies?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Yeah, cool.
And then next I want to talk about Life 9 probiotics. So probiotics are so important too. And I love Life 9 because this is safe and healthy for kids as well as pregnant women. So all in the family can use that. Of course, it is a capsule, so it would of course depend on if your child can actually swallow a capsule and things like that as well. But Life 9, having a good probiotic in your diet, in your system is so important. And I'm actually one that likes fermented. I ferment things all the time. I drink my kombucha and stuff. You still need a good probiotic every single night. You take that before you go to bed, after you're done eating for the day.
What does a good probiotic do for people? It helps them to develop good bacteria, right?
Right. It's going to build that good flora in your belly. Again, because when you think about it, at least I know for me, growing up, I used to constantly get ear infections. Every single year I would get strep throat, which I don't get any of that anymore. And I would get antibiotics. That was the only way that I knew how to fight those off. So what happens over time, the more and more that we're increasing medicines and antibiotics that are taking the place of what our body is supposed to naturally do, then our body is like, oh, well, I don't think that it's necessary for me to build those anymore. Right. So I don't think we need these good bacteria. So it stops doing it. And then you continually need to have those. Hey, Joanne. Good to see you back. Too. So then your body doesn't build it anymore. So what you're going to do with a good probiotic and fermented foods is it's going to tell and signal to your body like, hey, you know what? We need you. Like, rebuild what you're supposed to do so that way you can fight off bacteria, fight off illnesses, fight off stuff. So all it does is it's supporting your system to do what it's supposed to do and at the best way possible it can do. So that's why it's so important that your kids are taking a probiotic daily.
Formula appears.
Mm-hmm. The next one that I wanted to talk about, I didn't grab it, but
Which one was that?
Multigreens. Multigreens is another one that is just, you want to make sure that you and your kids are getting that in their diet, getting those healthy greens. Even if you are eating a vegan, high plant-based diet, unfortunately, because of the depletion in our soil, we're still not getting enough nutrients. So you have to supplement. I mean, unfortunately, because of what man has done to the earth, we're not getting enough in our systems. Mm-hmm. So those nice leafy greens, that spirulina, that wheatgrass, germgrass, all of those good healthy greens are in those multigreens. I actually, especially for my little one, you can pop those capsules open and I just put the powder actually in their Ninja, or I put them in another drink and they can drink that every single day. But that multigreens, the chlorophyll in there is going to be excellent for their immune system and immune supports.
I'm going to try answering this because I think I got this. Hey, Brisha, good to see you.
Hey, honey.
So I remember taking things like wheat germ as a kid and I hated it. I don't know if you ever did. But I mean, it's just interesting because if I remember, something like multigreens is going to help to alkalize your body, right? Mm-hmm. So with our children, when your body is alkalized, it's less prone to bacteria and illness, right? Mm-hmm. I have that correct? Oh, yeah, I got it. Yeah. So think of that also as a convenient way to be able to give them those greens that I know, like if my kids are like me, I know that they're picky eaters. So like Dana was saying, those capsules are great to be able to break up and put like in juice or a smoothie or something like that to make sure they get those greens to help alkalize their body, because they're not going to eat wheat germ. They're not going to eat that by itself. I'm sorry, they're just not. So I can't believe I remembered that.
So next I was going to talk about Ninja Red. I think everyone's pretty familiar with the Ninja Red. Again, this needs to be taken daily. I love it though because you only need 1 to 2 ounces. You don't have to take a big old glass, and it lasts so long. It's so cost effective. 1 to 2 ounces, full body spectrum. So this is like my multivitamin because this is going to support every single system of the body. And the little ones can drink that as well. You have all of those juices, and it's infused again with those oils, so it's going to be more bioavailable. Your body's going to use more of it. Again, that's another thing that we take every single day. That are, again, with the multi-greens, giving that body that support that it needs.
So one thing that's nice about Ningxia Red too is Ningxia Red has a low glycemic index. So I know, remember we were talking about earlier about worrying about our kids having too much sugar, or I know some friends of ours who have diabetic children, and so they don't really like to give them a ton of juice. Our kids do too, but we like the taste of the Ningxia. And it doesn't have a lot of sugar. So you're talking about a drink that's going to support every single system within your child's body, doesn't have a lot of sugar, and it's great for them overall as well, and they like the taste. Yep. So, I mean, it's a natural given. It's going to help them to be able to function, give them natural sustained energy throughout the day.
And next, I wanted to talk about vitamin C. So these are the chewable ones. So these are the ones I give the kids. I have the regular ones that we take as well. Again, you want to increase that vitamin C. The thing to remember though with vitamin C is our body only absorbs what it needs, and then you're just going to waste the rest of it. So it's not one that's going to necessarily stay in your system. So sometimes you think, oh, let me increase vitamin C. But if you have enough in your body's not going to use it. So you want to do more vitamin C, but you don't want to go outrageous with it. And I used to do that a lot because I remember I used to do those little packet things until...
Oh, not Super C.
What are they called?
Not Airborne.
Emergency.
I was close.
Not to badmouth any other brands, but I used to do those all the time. And I was like, why is this not working? Like, why is it not doing anything?
But they have like 5,000 milligrams of vitamin C. You really don't need.
And your body's not going to.
I mean, unless something is seriously deficient in you or your child's body, you really don't need that much vitamin C.
So again, a good plant-based whole food supplement, vitamin C. And then also, this is the Mighty Vites. So this is another kids supplement every day that you can take this as well. And I simply do that, again, just to ensure that my kids are getting all of the nutrients they need. Because diet is so important. Diet is the key to wellness. So again, I want to make sure that they are supported completely when it comes to what they're putting in their bodies and in their systems. So to help them as we transition into fall.
Oh, we didn't have Mighty Zymes over here.
Oh, no, I didn't. But Mighty Zymes it's an enzyme for kids. They're chewables as well. But especially my daughter, she has a lot of digestive issues. So we want to keep that gut healthy. You know, what is it? I think it's 50 to 60% of all immunity begins in the gut.
Yeah.
So you want to keep that functioning at its optimal ability again.
Yeah, absolutely.
So essential oils.
So moving on, let's start with the big one. I mean, I guess this is one of Dana's favorites. What is Thieves?
Thieves is everything.
Yeah.
Everything. I don't know. It doesn't matter where you are. Just make sure that you are taking Thieves. Like every home should have Thieves. You want to diffuse that Thieves. You want to put it on the bottom of your feet at nighttime. We take capsules of it every single day. My kids have it in their oatmeal, their granola. Take it internally. Thieves every day. Okay? So if you never ever do anything else with Young Livy, make sure you have Thieves and Ninja Red every day.
So I tell this story. It's a little bit of history for you guys, but I tell this story every time we host a class about the origin of Thieves oil. And Thieves actually got started in the 18th century. It was created by grave robbers. The blend of oils that are within the Thieves oil itself are ones that they would put on to prevent themselves from getting sick when they would rob graves. So if, that just speaks to the power of its immunity, like if they kept themselves from getting sick and they're dealing with, cadavers and corpses, then hopefully it should be able to keep those germy kids at school maybe at bay, you know.
But you got to do it every
Yeah.
day. Don't
So-
tell me after the fact and you started using thieves and
Yeah.
you don't know why. No. You can't wait till you already it's full blown.
It's a change in I guess the mental aspect of it, because usually we start taking things after we get symptoms, and you know, then we panic and it's like, okay, now I gotta take my thieves every day. You know, just it's about health and wellness, about being preventative. So you know, things that we're mentioning, you're going to be giving to your kids every single day. You're going to be taking them for yourself every single day to prevent yourself from getting sick. It doesn't, I don't want to say it doesn't work like medicine, but I mean, it really is about changing the mental aspect of it and heading things off before they become a problem.
So another one we want to talk about is RC. Stands for respiratory and congestion. Respiratory and congestion. I think that's pretty self-explanatory, but I always just say RC, rub this on your chest. This is going to be an awesome one to keep on hand. If you're like me and you enjoy breathing, RC. We have in our home, I know both my kids have very, very, very bad seasonal discomforts, and we need to support that now. You have to continuously support that. My poor son, he's very asthmatic as well. So RC is just gonna be awesome to help open up those passageways and breathe. If you enjoy breathing, RC, okay? RC is going to be amazing for those lungs. Make sure you have that RC on hand.
I'm going to add to that and go ahead and say that like lemon, lavender, and peppermint also, because as the weather change, there's 2 times in the year where particularly those discomforts get really, really bad, and it's usually in the spring and the fall because there's more moisture, the weather's starting to cool down, things are starting to, certain plants are starting to die off, so you just have more allergens in the air, you know, more toxicity just in general. So those are going to be some great oils to help kind of keep your passageways. So respiratory RC, or respiratory and congestion, is going to be great for your lungs. Something like lemon, lavender, and peppermint is going to be great for the sinuses and helping to relax those and keep those clear so that you and your children can breathe.
Mm-hmm. So another one I wanted to talk about is myrrh. So myrrh is another one that's awesome to put on your kid's spine, the bottom of their feet, helps support immunity. And then I just grabbed a few, but citrus oils. So this is going to be excellent to wake them up in the morning, get them started, get them going, have them in a positive, happy mood. So maybe lime or lemon. They can, again, take these internally. We have orange, tangerine. There's so many citrus oils, citrus fresh. We want our kids to start their day on a positive note. Breathe life into them. Breathe, success into them. Start their day positive. So we really want to help to support those. A few other ones I just wanted to mention that I didn't have with me, but Imu Power, Exodus 2. Again, both of these might be a little bit hotter of oils, but you want to put those down the spine. Put them down the spine of your kids. Lavender is another good one. Again, we're going to support that immunity. Helped me in the home with a cat. Was that the RC?
Oh, probably the lemon, lavender, and peppermint.
Citrus all day long. Yes. Citrus to keep them uplifted, keep them
put it
going.
in their water. We didn't like, so if you're packing your kids' lunch or something like that, and they have, you can put it like sparkling water or something like that. Add a drop to help keep them refreshed and mentally alert throughout the day. Peppermint, I was going to say, is a great one for them to diffuse after they get home. Usually your children are a little bit tired from school, so peppermint and lemon are going to be great oils to diffuse to help refresh them, because now they have homework. All right.
And then the last thing I wanted to definitely talk about is this kit right here, the Raindrop Technique Kit. So this particular kit has basil, cypress, marjoram, oregano, peppermint, thyme, wintergreen, aroma seeds, valor 2 in it. This one I do at least once or twice a week on the back of the spine of my kids, the bottom of their feet. I do these raindrop oils. Again, I want to support their full immunity. I do it definitely a lot more in the fall and winter months. But you really should just do it all the time. Again, let's align them, support them, give their body everything they need to be able to really be able to fight through this system. So when their systems are supported, they're gonna do better when it comes to the outside elements and things like that.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna add this little meme because that was everything you wanted to share, right? Mm-hmm. So I was on Instagram and someone posted a picture of how kids felt on the first day of school and how parents felt, and it's like the two parents were like high-fiving. So just think about this simple fact, like when you support your kids and keep them healthy throughout the year, unless there's like a terrible snowstorm, they're going to be in school and you're going to have that time that you need to yourself to take care of the things that you have to. If you don't and they get sick a bunch, then there's going to be a lot of sick days, and it's going to be just like they were back on summer vacation. So, I mean, I say that jokingly, but the reality is we do want our kids to be able to function on a day-to-day basis. We do want them to be able to get the most out of their education, and we also want them to be able to function when they get home. You know, we don't want to deal with crappy children when we get home. So these are going to be some great things to try on them and to use to keep them functioning, just like we take care of our systems. And we want to feel our best. We want to do the same for our kids. The only difference is their body is still developing and forming. So why not give them the tools to help that development process go the best that it possibly can?
So here's my challenge to you. If you know you have little ones, do you and your family a favor. If the last year, at some point during the season, they fell under the weather, had a hard time recovering, if the season before that, they had a hard time, because I know for me, again, and I said this before, I know every single year, I just knew that I was going to be sick. Like I knew already that this is what's going to happen. So my challenge to you is, if you have tried other things before, but you have never tried pure therapeutic Young Living essential oils and supplements, not just oils, but the supplements with Ninja Red, I challenge you this season to do something different. So if what you've been doing before has not worked, try something different. Try something new. Just see if it will support your family and you can make a difference and make a change. That's my challenge.
Challenge accepted.
Because I can speak what happened to my family, and I know for the past 2 years, we have not been ill, but I want you to take on that challenge too and see how you can change your family's lives, because we're passionate about sharing and helping others change their lives.
Yeah, absolutely. Well said. Okay. Well,
any questions?
Yeah. We'll give them like 10 to 30 seconds. And
come back, put them in there. We'll come back and answer any questions. Like I said, football started, so I'm going to go watch.
Doesn't sound like,
I got to see how my defense is doing.
She's like inching away. She's like, you got this, right? I'm going to go upstairs and watch a football game.
So thank you, everybody. Again, if you didn't see from the beginning, go back and watch from the beginning. Ask your questions. We want to answer them. We want to support you. We do have in-person classes. Our next one is going to be Sunday, the 17th. Mark yourself as going.
4:30.
At 4:30. Mark yourself as going. Share with others. This is not common knowledge for everybody. People don't know that you can be well and live above the wellness line. People don't know that their little ones do not have to be under the weather this time of year. So this is something that we're passionate about sharing. You share with others as well. Again, join us in our in-person classes, because that's where we can really, hone in one-on-one and get your questions answered. The 17th at 4:30. And then I believe, what was it, the 29th?
29th, which I believe is
a Friday at 6:30. So those will be our two classes we have this month. I'm doing a few vendor events, so those will be the two classes we have in person. So we appreciate you joining us. Again, share, like, and thank you.
And we'll see everybody for the next Health Talk with the Mots, the first Thursday of the month.
First Thursday of the month.
Keep that in mind. If there's something that you would like us to cover in our next session, feel free to direct message. feel free to message us or reach out to us on Facebook or one of the other forums that we're on. And until then, we'll talk to you guys and see you guys later.
Night night, guys.
Have a good night. Bye.